Did somebody say music? What's up people, it's your boy Props, back with another video, doing another music review because I kind of want to bring this back to the channel a little bit. I did one a long time ago on Hybrid Theory and then I never did another one again. It's pretty much my YouTube channel in a nutshell. But today, if you can't tell by the title or the fucking picture behind me, today we're going to be reviewing the new 21 Pilots album called Trench. I didn't anticipate myself reviewing this album, but well, here we are. So first of all, 21 Pilots, I guess I quite like them, but they've always been quite a hit and miss with me. Vessel is alright, kind of like switches between tracks I really like, tracks that are tracks that no thank you. Then we have Blurry Face, which starts off really well and then deteriorates a little bit, in my opinion. So, my general opinion on 21 Pilots, they're okay. Not really that big of a fan. And when this album came out, I was expecting me to think, oh yeah, it's okay. But, I really fucking like it. Like, this is definitely my favorite album they've made, by far. It's just very fucking good. It seems like a mix of the two different styles they've done before, and they found a good balance between it, and it sounds really good. And again, like, I really wasn't expecting to like this album at all. Like, when it came out, I didn't listen to it. I think like 4 days after it came out, I finally gave it a listen, and I was like, shit, this is actually like good. Well, actually, truth be told, first time I went through it, I thought it was okay. The second time I went through it, I really liked it, and the third time, I fucking love it. It's just an album that really grew on me really quickly. It starts off with Jumpsuit, which was the song they released like way before the album. And when I first heard it, I liked it, and I still like it now. Got a good guitar riff in it, and me being a pretty big Linkin Park fan, I like me a bit of a scream. And so when Tyler screams, it's pretty fucking good. Like, I just love that part so much. It's got this really nice atmospheric thing to it. A lot of the tracks have this really nice atmospheric feel, mainly because it is a concept album. The album like follows this like big city called Dema, I think, or Dema, something like that, and then this area that surrounds it called Trench, and then there's all these people that run it, and then there's other people called Banditos who are trying to take it back. I probably said a lot of things wrong there, but that is what I believe it's about. And so all these tracks have this like really atmospheric kind of, oh, there's something going on feel, and it sounds really good. Then we go on to Levitate, which is alright. It's a good rap track. Like, he's got a good flow on this one, to be fair, Tyler. Tyler always manages to get the good flows, to be fair. There are a lot of songs where I feel like the lyrical content could be better on all of the albums they've made, 21 Pilots. But to be fair, you gotta hand it to him, he always has this really good flow. And Levitate is a perfect example of this really good flow. My only wish is that it was a little bit longer. It's only like 2 minutes and something, and yeah, it kind of just like, the second it starts, it's over, you know. Then we go on to Morph. I really like Morph. The chorus always gets me. There's something about it that I really like. I think it's Tyler's high voice, and then he goes like, oh, I'm Morph to someone else, and it just sounds really good. In a similar vein, My Blood is a song I really like as well. It's got this more emotional feel to it. It's like the first song we see on the album that really has that emotion behind it, and it goes through like talking about, oh yeah, family and how, you know, you'll do anything for them. It's a lot sadder than the three we've seen so far, but it's not like the saddest on the album, nowhere near the saddest yet. Possibly like my second favorite on the album. Like, every single time I listen to it, I'm just like, yeah, this is a really good song. And then we have Chlorine, which is a song that grew on me so quickly. Like, I first heard it and I was tempted to skip it, to be 100% honest. I was a bit like, I don't know if I like this. And then the second time I listened to it, I was just like, oh, I'll give it another go. And it really grew on me. Like, this album is just an album full of songs that have just grown on me. I wouldn't class it as one of my favorites, but it still has this really like toxic feel, because it is about something to do with poisons and toxins. I'm not 100% sure. They managed to create this like toxic, poisonous feel really well. And although that one may not be one of my favorites, it's nowhere near a song that I dislike. I still really like it. But now we move on to a song that I do dislike. I've given Smithereens like 4 chances at this point, and it still doesn't do anything for me. Possibly at some point it'll grow on me, because I honestly thought Chlorine would never, and it did. But I just don't see myself going on to this. There's like, there are parts of the song that are okay, but then there are parts of the song that are really bad that just outweigh the parts that are you know, that are okay. So it's just a song that I can't listen to. Every single time I listen to it, I'm like, I just can't get into it. And it's strange because it is about a topic that I probably would end up quite liking. Maybe if they just did a little bit different, but I don't know. Then we have Neon Gravestones. This is the sad song of the album, the real sad song of the album, and it is my favorite on the album. I'm really a sucker for a sad song, to be 100% honest. I really like sad songs more than like upbeat ones. And this one, it has this really, really, really sad, horrible, kind of dark, really dark feeling to it, and it gets me every single time. And Tyler just sounds so emotional on it. To be fair, he really gets the emotion across in his voice so well. The track itself is about not glorifying suicide. It goes on about, you know, how people might just use it as just to get back at people, and the song is just saying, you know, just don't glorify it, you know, it's something, it's still a big mistake. This was the track that actually got me into listening to the whole album, because I stumbled across it, and I was like, oh wow, I really like this. And I was thinking, right, I'll give this whole album a go. And, you know, I'm glad I did. And going from one favourite to another, the hype, it's a lot more upbeat, like it's a huge transition. But my god, like it's got that same kind of level of I really like it. There's something about the song that just has this kind of unique feel to it. It's really good. Like it's one of my favorites. Nico and the Niners is up next. This was again released quite early on. This was released just after Jumpsuit, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm actually not 100% sure. When it was released, it didn't particularly click with me. But again, like almost every single track on this album, it just grew on me. It starts off with this like kind of Mediterranean kind of guitar feel. It feels really chill. But I believe the song is about like the 9 people who run this like big city, with Nico being like the main one, and then I don't know the names of the other ones. I can search them up though. Andre, Lisden, Keones, Raisdro, Sakava, Nils, Vatomo, and Listo. Well, there you go. I feel like it kind of portrays that kind of political ruling feel really well. And it's strange like how it does, because it has this really like chill feel to it, and then it still somehow gets across that way. Like, when you make music, there's just a lot of variables to take into consideration when it's like atmosphere. And I feel like this track is a pretty good example of it, because it has this atmosphere behind it that just suits the topic so well. Next up, we have Cut My Lip, one of the longer tracks on the album. And that is maybe the one thing I have to say against it, that it went on a bit too long. Again, I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, but it's a song that grew on me. When I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is definitely my like least favorite. And then just it grew on me at a big surprise. I haven't got much to say about that one, to be 100% honest. I'm not too sure what it's actually about. I could do some research on it, depends if I can be asked. Okay, so apparently it's about the willingness to keep going when things are hard. Learn something new every single day. Then we have Bandito. God, I love this song. I actually said that Cut My Lip was one of the longer tracks on the album, but Bandito is almost a minute longer than it, so what am I saying? I like Bandito, but the lyrical content is just not like unique enough. It's just like the same like 3 lines over and over and over again for 5 minutes, with like these few verses added in between. Like, it just goes on like, oh yeah, I could take the high road, but I know that I'm going low, I'm a bandito, and then repeat. But again, it has this feel to it. It's really atmospheric, emotional feel, and hence, even though the lyrical content could be a lot better, it's one of my favorites. I'd give it top 5 probably. The song itself is about the protagonist of this album accepting that he will join this like group called the Banditos, who are going up against Nico and the Niners, who run this huge fucking Dema. Like, I really like the story behind this. It's really like complex. And apparently Nico is the character Blurryface from their last album, Blurryface. Like, it's so cool. After Bandito is Pet Cheetah, which is a lot more of a techno, kind of a lot harder of a track. Talks about writer's block and the production of music. I'd say it's the closest track we have, that one and Jumpsuit, to a rock song on the album. And guess what? It fucking grew on me. Didn't see that one coming. After that is Legend. I haven't got much to say about Legend. I believe it's written about Tyler's niece, I think. Don't quote me on that. Okay, no, this is me from the future. Some sources say it's about his niece. Other sources say it's about his grandfather who passed away. Like, it's one of those two. Okay, just Leave me alone. After that, we have the closer, Leave the City. And I gotta give it, I feel like it's a really, really nice end to the album. Because it kind of leaves you without a conclusion in a way. This song, on the third listen, or throughout the album, almost made me cry, almost, but it didn't, so you can't call me a pussy bitch, okay? I am pussy bitch, but that's not the point. It kind of feels like after all this protagonist, this character that we've been following throughout the rest of this album has gone through, it just ends in him leaving the city, and I'm not too sure if that's a metaphor for him dying, or if it's just him leaving the city, but either way, mad. So what I've just searched up by here is a song basically about losing faith, and it is purposely made to not completely build up, so that it feels incomplete, which is kind of good and kind of bad, because then it does kind of suit in with the theme of the album, but then it kind of again, it doesn't leave you with a conclusion. But all I'm gonna say is, again, I really love this song. As I said, bit of a sucker for a sad song. This song is a sad one. And yeah, that's the whole album. If you haven't listened to this yet, you gotta give it a listen. Really, really good album. It's crazy for me to say that one of my favorite albums at the moment is not a Linkin Park album, but it's true. And another one of my favorites is Mike Shinoda's album, which doesn't count as a Linkin Park album. So actually, I'm not just a Linkin Park fan. I actually like a lot of music, I'll have you know. Transition. Did you give this album a listen? My name's Anthony Fantano, and I'm a fucking melon. That is definitely a relevant meme. Definitely not overused. Oh, but seriously, if you have listened to the album, tell me what you think about it in the comments below. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Hit the bell as well so you can get notified, because YouTube's so shit that it doesn't let you know when the people you're subscribed to upload. So basically, there's no point in subscribing. You might as well just have the bell, and that's it. But this is a rant for a different video. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.